Hello everyone, welcome to Rainbow Infinity. Today I'll be reading FanOfMostEverything's A Taste of Home. If you like the reading, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Please enjoy. The Care and Feeding of Friendships. Twilight Sparkle's schedule at Crystal Prep had been simple. School, lab, home, repeat. At Canterlot High, it was much more complicated thanks to Twilight's social sphere expanding like the superluminal inflation of the early universe. Not that she'd ever use the word inflation where Rainbow Dash could hear it. Not after last time. The latest event on a much more crowded social calendar was the Pinky-organized Human Twilight's Friendship Month-iversary, with friends trickling in based on their distance from the venue, Applejack's barn. Once word arrived that Sunset would be unavoidably detained, Twilight rose from talking about Spike and the other dogs in her family with Fluttershy as soon as politely possible, which still took several minutes. But in time, Twilight got up, moved to the middle of the building, and cleared her throat. Everyone, I know this party is for me, but you've all been putting up with me for a month now, and I wanted to thank you tangibly. Rarity brushed that off with a multi-second scoff. Darling, you're not in Crystal Prep anymore. We're not putting up with you. We genuinely enjoy your company. Yeah, added Pinky. I don't throw parties like this for people I just put up with. They get a lot less confetti. Mudbriar, said Rainbow Dash. Pinky crossed her arms and pouted. Whatever Maud sees in him, I don't. Twilight smiled and bowed her head. All the same, just saying thank you didn't seem like enough, and money felt crass. She pulled out the Crupperware container she'd brought with her and set it on the already well-populated snack table. Mom suggested cookies. I know they won't be Applejack or Pinky quality. Rainbow had followed her and was already eating one. Hey, free cookies are still free cookies. Good ones, too. That got a smile. They are Mom's special recipe. Chocolate chips, raisins, nuts, candied ginger, all in oatmeal, Pinky gasped as she got her first look at them. Are you crazy? Any confidence Twilight had gotten was already crumbling. Did I do something wrong? Is someone allergic? Applejack moved to her side, a hand on her shoulder and a sidelong glare at Pinky. Ain't nothing like that, Sugar Cube. Grab 'em while we got 'em, folks. She took her own advice, and the others rose to follow suit. Fluttershy fidgeted behind her own cookie. Sunset, well... You know how she's a magic unicorn from another planet? Said Pinky. Twilight smiled as she reflected on the incredible absurdities that had become commonplace facts since the transfer. It's come up once or twice, yes. She has certain... Rarity screwed up her face as she looked for a good term. Eccentricities, shall we say. Rainbow snorted and smirked. That's one way of putting it. Eccentricities that never came to light during her bad old days, Rarity continued, as her abrasive attitude kept anyone from getting close enough to notice. It was Applejack's turn to grin. Other than Flash Sentry, but that boy's blind as a bat with a girl he's sweet on. Twilight shuddered, and not just because of past incidents involving Flash and mistaken identity. I saw how mad Sunset can get at the friendship games. I can only imagine what it was like when she was that angry all the time. She was also very sad, said Fluttershy, and even more angry, because she didn't understand why she was sad. In any case, even after a few years living as a human, she still shows the occasional sign of her origins. Rarity nodded to Applejack, calling Freckles Dapples, for example, or trying to talk to my horses in their language. Rainbow grinned. Remember the victory whinny when I got that tie-breaking goal against Griffinstone? Oh, that was fun, said Pinky. I still think we should work that into the cheer squad's routine. She steepled her fingers, voice dropping an octave. I just have to convince them. After a few moments, Fluttershy cleared her throat. And she really hates it when the weather forecast is wrong. She keeps looking at Rainbow and me like it's our fault. Then apologizing, then more glaring. The barn door creaked open. Hey guys, sorry I'm late, Sunset halted in both mid-step and mid-sentence. Her nostrils flared and her eyes locked on the snack table. Oats. The others got out of her way. Twilight just blinked, too confused to move. Sunset came at her like an oncoming train. Twilight shuffled backwards, eventually stumbling onto a hay bale next to the table. Sunset leaned over her, plunging her entire face into the Crupperware. Pressing it between balled-up fists, Sunset tilted sideways into Twilight's lap, messily devouring everything in her makeshift feed bag. After a minute that stretched out like an hour, that's relativity, Sunset came up for air, 3 different cookies breaking away from the mass in her mouth. She said, "Good oats," around it, rubbed a crumb-covered cheek against Twilight's, and went back to the massacre. For her part, Twilight had gone stiff from the moment Sunset had sprawled across her. The nuzzle was at least somewhat familiar, if in a different context. So Twilight, whose extended family owned far more dogs than just Spike, reflexively did the same thing she always did when a large creature lay on her and noisily consumed treats. She started stroking Sunset's hair. The resulting noises were filed away as something to compare to Applejack's horses when the opportunity presented itself. Neither noticed the phone camera going off, though Fluttershy did send copies of the photo to both of them. Also the rest of their friend group, which, thanks to Pinky, meant it went viral on my stable. And that, Twilight said several years later, is how your Aunt Sunset and I started dating. Flurryheart pondered this with all the severity of a 6-year-old concerning dessert. In time, she gave a solemn nod and said, "Grandma does make good cookies." Twilight returned the expression with just as much consideration as only the best aunt ever could. She does. Thank you for listening in. I hope you enjoyed the reading. Until next time, stay tuned.